Jai Ram Om. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai 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 Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om.
Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om, Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam, Pranam, Pranam.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam, Pranam, Pranam. So for the past few days, Papa has been engaging us in trying to make an in-depth study of Bhagavad Gita. What is meant by in-depth study? Not the textual knowledge, not the academic part of it, but how to integrate Bhagavad Gita in our daily life. At the moment, it is in the form of a book. You have to mute Lakshmi Narayan ji. Lakshmi Narayan ji.
Pain is coming.
You have to mute. You have to mute. Right. Many of our Shastras, we revere them, but we don't make an effort to penetrate into our day-to-day living. Because first thing is, we don't know the Sanskrit. We have not had that education when we were in the impressive age. We have faith. We have faith in the words of the masters. We may not know what exactly it contains, but we have faith. Reverence is there. Exactly, Gita also, we have got reverence. But when you are leading a family life, professional life, social life, individual life, we hardly find its relevance because we have not set the mindset. So now an attempt is being made as a first step to go through a few slokas find out some incidents that goes along with this. For example, we always think that this Mahabharata war took place 5,000, 6,000 years ago. That means the Bhagavad Gita came into being must be 6,000, 5,000, 6,000 years ago. But we are now in 2025. Unless and until it is interpreted in the way in which we understand, it will not become useful in our life. We may be able to recite beautifully, give a lecture on the philosophy, but how does it percolate into our thinking system, and how does it help us to improve the quality of our life? So with this background, an attempt has been made. Now we have been sharing about 40, 45 examples. We will share a few examples and then see for ourselves. After a decade of relentless deadlines and mounting corporate pressures, Raj found himself worn out, physically, mentally, emotionally. The constant noise and demands of his job had drowned out his inner peace, leaving him feeling disconnected and drained. Most of the corporate people who are working in corporate concerns, the constant noise and demands of his job had drowned out his inner peace, leaving him feeling disconnected and drained. Recognizing the need for change, Raj made a bold decision. He took a 6-month sabbatical, stepping away from the bustling office to embark on a journey of self-renewal. During this time away, Raj traveled to quiet mountain retreats, meditated at sunrise, poured his thoughts into writing. In the silence and solitude, he rediscovered a sense of calm and clarity that had long eluded him. Free from distractions, he reflected deeply on his life, reconnected with his core values, found a renewed sense of purpose. When Raj returned to work, he was transformed. Stress no longer overwhelmed him. He tackled the challenges with a calm mind and a fresh perspective. His colleagues noticed the change. Raj was more focused, creative, compassionate than ever before. The time spent in solitude had not only healed him, but also made him a source of inspiration for those around him. It is connected to Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 6, sloga number 10. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi stitaha ekaki yatachittatma nirashir aparigraha. Let the yogi try constantly to keep the mind steady, remaining in solitude, alone, with the mind and body controlled, free from hope and possessiveness. So here we find it is not a direct linking. We take the essence out of it. 6,000 years ago, what he said is right. From there, the outer circumstances have changed. So we take the cream out of it, spirit out of it, and then try to view it in the way in which we can understand. Let the yogi try constantly to keep the mind steady, remaining in solitude, alone, with the mind and body controlled, free from hope and possessiveness. He was free from expectation. So he becomes a yogi now. So it is related to a normal problem we are confronted with. Raj's sabbatical is a living example of his teaching. By seeking solitude and practicing self-discipline, he was able to quiet his mind, let go of attachment, and return to his duties with deeper awareness and balance. Like the yogi described in the Gita, Raj found strength, clarity, and renewal in inner stillness. Sometimes stepping away from the world's noise is essential for finding true clarity and purpose. As the Bhagavad Gita teaches, solitude and self discipline help us reconnect with our inner self, empowering us to return to life's challenges with peace, energy, and wisdom. Raj's journey reminds us that real transformation often begins in silence. When we dare to pause, reflect, listen to the quiet voice within. Many of us would have experienced in our own life. For the sake of people who came, we will repeat again. So this is an effort made to go through the contents, because yesterday we were in detail explaining in the chapter number 18, sloka number 63, the Lord clearly gives us the freedom. He doesn't impose anything. It is not a dictum or a dogma. This is a very important subject. Before we study Bhagavad Gita, probably we feel this should go to inside. Itite jnanamakyatam guhyad guhyataram maya vimurshayita sheshena yathechasi tata guru. He explained, there are 700 slokas. The Lord must have explained more than 600. Even if it's 73, we give to Arjuna, Sanjay. And normally we go with the impression that whatever he has told, we have to abide. No. He gives the total freedom to Arjuna. I have explained everything to you. Now you reflect. You contemplate. You meditate on it. And then bring it out as you are prompted from within. Similarly, now when we go through that, we go through a sloka, we try to understand the meaning. We don't stop with the meaning. We try to contemplate. So in this particular sloka number 10 of 6, Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasistita ekaki yatachittatma nirashi raparigraha. Let the yogi try constantly to keep the mind steady in solitude, alone, with the mind and body controlled, free from possessiveness, expectation, free from expectation. So then, suppose we go through the example. We keep on thinking. So many friends come here, and they say, we would like to have a 10 days break. Many get frustrated nowadays, because work, sitting. After a decade of relentless deadlines and mounting corporate pressures, Raj found himself worn out, physically, mentally, emotionally. The constant noise and demands of his job had drowned out his inner peace, leaving him feeling disconnected and drained. Recognizing the need for change, Raj made a bold decision. He took a 6-month sabbatical, stepping away from the bustling office to embark on a journey of self-renewal. During this time away, Raj traveled to a quiet mountain retreats, meditated at sunrise, poured his thoughts into writing. In the silence and solitude, he rediscovered a sense of calm and clarity that had long eluded him. Free from distraction, he reflected deeply on his life, reconnected with his core values, found a renewed sense of purpose. When Raj returned to work, he was transformed. Stress no longer overwhelmed him. He tackled the challenges with a calm mind and a fresh perspective. His colleagues noticed the change. Raj was more focused, creative, compassionate than ever before. The time spent in solitude had not only healed him, but also made him a source of inspiration for those around him. So Raj sabbatical is a living example of the teaching of slogan number 10 of chapter number 6. By seeking solitude and practicing self-discipline, he was able to quiet his mind, let go of attachment, return to his duties with deeper awareness and balance. Like the yogi described in the Gita, Raj found strength, clarity, renewal in inner stillness. Sometimes stepping away from the world's noise is essential for finding true clarity and purpose. As the Bhagavad Gita teaches, solitude and self-discipline help us reconnect with our inner self, empowering us to return to a life's challenges with peace, energy, and wisdom. Raj's journey reminds us that real transformation often begins in silence when we dare to pause, reflect, listen to the quiet voice within. Next one. In a quiet village, there was a nursery, famous for its lush, healthy plants and vibrant flowers. Visitors would marvel at how every sapling, from delicate ferns to sturdy fruit trees, seemed to thrive effortlessly. Curious guests often asked the gardener for the secret. The gardener would smile and explain, "It is not a single ingredient, but the careful balance of all elements that brings life to this nursery." Each day he would test the soil, ensuring it was neither too dense nor too loose. He mixed with just sand for roots to breathe and added manure in measured amounts to nourish growth. Watering too was an art. Too little, the leaves wilted. Too much, roots would rot. He watched the weather, adjusted for the seasons, observed each plant's unique needs. The gardener knew that excess or deficiency of any element, soil, sand, manure, water, could stunt growth or even kill the plant. Only through harmony and moderation could the nursery flourish, bursting with color and life. Connection is chapter number 6, slogan number 17. युक्ताहार विहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः. He who is temperate in eating, recreation, working, sleeping, waking, attains yoga, which destroys all sorrows. We are not taking the direct, Then we get stuck with the sloga. Here we find the essence of it, wherever moderation is necessary. That is the essence of it. Moderation. Yuktahara viharasya, yukta, all those things are there. We can explain in forums. But how does it get connected to my life? So this one explains. Just as the nursery flourishes through the right balance of elements, a person's well-being and spiritual growth depend on moderation in all aspects of life. The Gita teaches that those who are balanced in food, activity, rest, and recreation can attain true harmony and peace. Excess or neglect in any area, like in the nursery, leads to imbalance and suffering. Balance is the key to flourishing, whether in a garden or in life. By practicing moderation and harmony in all we do, as the Gita advises, we create the conditions for true growth, happiness, and inner peace. The gardener's wisdom reminds us that just as every plant needs the right mix to thrive, so too do we need balance in our daily habits to live a healthy, joyful, meaningful life. The last one we read was the theory. We are arriving at the theory by going through the example. Those who have a little agricultural background, they may be able to enjoy more. Many who have been joining us during our COVID period, when we developed the Ayodhya and Madhuvan, all of us were literally involved in that. And we have this nursery. sand will be there, powdering will be there, surface soil will be there. And then we mix it. Not like that. It will be measured. 2:1:1, something like that. 2 measure of soil, 1 measure of rice, sand, 1 measure of this thing, cattle manure. Properly mix it and then fill it in the nursery bags and then plant, put a pandal, mulch, and then water it, and after a few days it sprouts. So when we have done this, we will be able to enjoy it more. So many factors come. So moderation in everything is necessary. Too much of water? No. Too little of water? No. Too much of sand? No. Too much of cattle manure? No. Everything should be measured. So yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Like that, in any field of activities, if we practice moderation, then it will be a success. Next one. In a bustling city, a young student entered a renowned music academy. His heart felt with dreams of becoming a great teacher one day. But the path was anything but easy. Each morning she practiced her scales, sometimes repeating the same note for hours. Mistakes were frequent, her fingers stumbled, her rhythm faltered, her confidence wavered. Yet she did not give up. Guided by her teacher, she patiently corrected her errors, revisited the basics, learned to listen deeply. Some days progress seemed invisible, on others a new skill would blossom. Over the years, her mind and hands grew attuned to the discipline. The music that once felt foreign became a natural expression of her inner self. Eventually, students began to seek her guidance. She taught them not just techniques, but the value of patience, persistence, humility. She reminded them that mastery is not a sudden leap, but a gentle unfolding, step by step, mistake by mistake, lesson by lesson. So the connection is chapter number 6, sloga number 25. Shanai Shanai Ruparmaret Buddhya Dhritigahiyataya Atmasamsam Manakritva Nakinjadavi Chindayed. Little by little, let him attain quietude by the intellect, held firmly. Having made the mind establish itself in the self, let him not think of anything else. Little by little, Shanai Shanai. Let him attain quietude by the intellect held firmly. Having made the mind establish itself in the self, let him not think of anything else. Just as the student's journey to mastery is gradual and patient, so too is the path to inner mastery. The Gita teaches that the mind cannot be forced or rushed. It must be gently and steadily guided, returning to the basics and holding firm to discipline. With patience and perseverance, the mind becomes still and true wisdom blossoms. Mastery, whether in art, science, or in the inner world, comes not from pressure, but from patient, consistent effort. As the Gita reminds us, progress is made little by little with steady resolve, gentle guidance until both skill and self-realization are attained. See how now slowly Bhagavad Gita is entering into our life. Family life, corporate life, social life.
Swamiji,
Ah,
the same thing can be connected to chapter number 6, sloka number 35.
pardon?
Same, அது correct ஆகாது அதுக்கு.
Eh?
எடுத்துக்கலாமே.
Eh?
అలా అసంశయం మహాభావం
ఆ.
ఒక శ్లోకం కరెక్ట్ కదా ఇది అభ్యాసం
యా
అది కరెక్ట్ గా ఉంది అది వేరే సార్
కొంచెం അതും కొంచెం ആവും. Each one can look at it and he will get something. What we are not too technical, na? The purpose is somehow Gita, Vinobaji used to address Gita as I, mother. Gita I. And he says, whenever I am in trouble, I go to my mother. We were reading it, we were not knowing it, because we also have a book. Except for academic excellence, we don't use it for anything else. Every day, whenever we happen to go through different types of varied experiences in others and in others, we don't take the text and check up whether it is related to that. Because to us, it's a revered book, that's all. Just like any other discipline, we also read, suppose. Those who have been privileged to learn a little bit of Sanskrit, they might be able to recite it. Those who while in the student days, when they have been taught by their parents or teachers that you should learn this by heart, they may be able to do that. But now, we have to weld it with our daily life. That is the important thing. Then only it becomes useful, So, and it can be interpreted in any, because each one, there are so many commentaries by Mahatmas on the same Bhagavad Gita. What does it mean? Each one looks at it with a particular mindset. And he derives or she derives. Similarly, you and I, they have given us the clue that each one, when looks at Bhagavad Gita, they get their own interpretations.
Yes, Swami, yes.
So similarly, we too. How do we do that? We are in 2025 now. We are very much connected with our family life, professional life, social life, individual life. Lots of ups and downs are there. Disturbing, elevating, favorable, unfavorable, so many situations, objects, individuals we come across. We put a label, good or bad. We get upset when it is bad. We get elated when it is good. Now we have been taught that this is a celestial song. This is named a celestial song. Not only that it is universal, but it touches upon all these aspects, provided we try to link it with that. If we stay at the sloka level, at the intellectual level, it will give us joy. Sentimental level, it gives us a joy. But at the practical level, no.
Reciting Gita itself is a joy, Swamiji.
Simply to recite. That joy only stays during that particular time,
Yes.
Then whether the contents of the Gita help me in tackling various issues, challenges, duties, commitments, that is important. In this connection, we will read Papa's words on Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a veritable mosaic of eternal wisdom. It has not left unsolved a single problem pertaining to the conduct of human life, both in its spiritual and physical spheres. For the highest truths of philosophy and also for the perfect light on the practical side of life, one has to go to this great work. The message of the entire Gita is to reveal the harmony and identity of soul with God and God with nature. It must be within the experience of every student of the Gita that the majority of the commentators on this great scripture have drawn out such truths from it as would coincide with their own views and predilections, and have presented them to the world as the whole secret of this many-sided, all-comprehensive mine of wisdom. Some read it into the Gita, an emphatic call to renounce all action in the world as the ultimate goal. Some others argue that the Gita holds devotion to a personal God as the essential creed of it. Some would have it that the Gita urges the soul to plunge into action, making that alone the sole criterion and the one necessary condition of human existence. Again, some others, taking the Mahabharata war, including the Gita, as only an allegorical exposition of the eternal truths, interpret the teachings from their viewpoint as embodying an uncompromising cult of ahimsa. Each one of these expounders of the Gita is right from the angle of vision by which he has struggled to understand the scripture. But the whole truth, enshrined in its 18 chapters, is all that they have said, put together, and much more besides. For an all-round, authoritative, conclusive, and comprehensive treatise on the Gita, among the commentaries of the present day, one has to turn to the illuminating, inspiring volumes of the essays on the Gita by Sri Aurobindo. To understand life and realize its glory integrally, this is a very important word.
This is not being shared. This is not shared. This is not visible.
That's all right. I have to confirm. To understand life and realize its glory integrally, one has to study the Gita in all its phases from all standpoints. To have a partial view of a particular aspect of it alone, and to hold forth that as the whole truth has been the cause of imperfection in spiritual experience. So when we are plunging deep into it, connecting it to the practical side, we should at no time feel that this is the only one. In fact, while working on this, the interpretations of various Mahatmas are helping us. Whether it is Swami Chinmayananda ji, Swami Ranganathananda ji, like that, we go through that, how to connect. So all of them are helping us to bring out this method also. Because as Papa said, each one, to understand life and realize its glory integrally, one has to study the Gita in all its phases and from all standpoints. Integrally, glory. To have a partial view of a particular aspect of it alone, and to hold forth that as the whole truth has been the cause of imperfection in spiritual experience. The purpose of the Gita is to proclaim that human life is essentially divine, spiritually, mentally, physically. If you remember right, there are 10 or 12 slokas where he says that he is the origin. That means even when all of us every one of us, when we try to go to the origin, we get halted 2 or 3 or 4 generations. We might be able to say, we are born from our parents, they are born to their parents, they are born to their parents. At best 2 or 3 or 4, not beyond that. But the truth is we are there, so we must have come from something. And our parents are not the first cause. because they are also subjected to this cause and effect, So that first cause is behind everything, chara and achara. That is why Papa says, the soul whose the purpose of Gita is to proclaim that human life is essentially divine, spiritually, mentally, physically. Its one aim is to prove that spirit and matter are one and the same. Activity in the world, whatever form it might take, as circumstances and conditions demand, is not a thing to be shunned or renounced. What is needed is to divinize life through the attainment of freedom from the individual sense by the mergence of it into God, who is at once the soul, the universe, and the all-transcendent, all-inclusive truth. The soul whose life is thus liberated, Gita says, is utterly divine in all its movements, significant as well as insignificant. Now, action for him is but a natural and spontaneous flow of divine energy acting through him. As God's supreme will determines, this energy works through him equally to create, to preserve, to destroy. Create, preserve, and destroy. Since this illumined personality intuitively bases his action on the vision of the universal reality and performs them in a state of entirely bereft of the individual sense, they do not affect him for good or evil. So long as the soul misses this acme of attainment, he flounders on the morass of conflicting dualities, good and evil, virtue and sin, ahimsa and himsa, pleasure and pain. Now, for example, now he says, preservance, what is that he said? To create, to preserve, to destroy. Personally, we know directly, in late 50s, when a land was given, a swampy area, jungle area, and a hilly side, that is also there. So the whole thing was felled, clear felling was done. You have to obtain permission from the collector. And then we plant coffee on the slopey side, and the other, we have to remove everything and then convert it into paddy field. Okay. Now, when we look back, there was a destruction of the previous setup for the construction. Both are concomitant,
That is creation.
Eh?
That is creation.
Creation, that is creation and destruction. Creation is preceded by destruction.
Destruction, yes. Admitted.
So we have done it,
Yeah.
And when even while we are ploughing the field for paddy cultivation, we put the mulch, cattle manure, then we plough it, mix it with the soil there. We see that the water is kept there, and in 4 or 5 days, everything gets dissolved into one, and then we sow the seed. It sprouts after 10 or 15 days. After, say, 25, 30 days, we pluck, pull it out, and transplant it.
Replant.
We call it as transplanting. And then transplant, and after a month or two, weeds will come.
Yeah.
If the weeds are allowed, in the root competition, it will spoil. So we take it out. From the level of the weeds, it's a destruction. From the level of nurturing the paddy, it's a creation. We make it productive. We are giving a produce to the society. So then, when we heard about Paritranaya Sadhunam, Vinashaya Chadushkritam, Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavam Yuge Yuge, we were thinking about a person. Now we see that every day we are doing it. In order that the paddy or the coffee, in coffee also we do that. Immediately after the plucking is over, we do pruning. Whatever that has given us the branches, it will never yield more. That will be removed, allowing or facilitating the tree to bring out new shoots.
Next year that will grow again.
Next year again it will go.
Yeah.
So that means this construction, destruction, preservation, it is a cycle. Oh, this is what Bhagavad Gita teaches us.
The hidden meaning is great.
So when we go back to our life, we see it every day. Oh, this is what Papa says. Utterly, to understand life and realize its glory integrally, one has to study the Gita in all its phases and form from all standpoints. To have the purpose of the Gita is to proclaim that human life is essentially divine, spiritually, mentally, physically. Its one aim is to prove that spirit and matter are one and the same. Activity in the world, whatever form it might take, as circumstances and conditions demand, is not a thing to be shunned or renounced. What is needed is to divinize life through the attainment of freedom from the individual sense by the emergence of it into God, who is at once the soul, the universe, and the all transcendent, all inclusive truth. Here, God is not a personal one.
But result is there.
Papa's interpretation of God, we should always know that clearly, is simple truth. A creator is not directly visible, but a creation reflects the existence of a creator. So without creation, the creator is not there. Without creator, the creation cannot exist. That is why he says, both are. The creation is subject to perish. The other one is not. Spirit and matter. The spirit remains the same. Matter is always subject to changes. So he says that the soul whose life is thus liberated, the Gita says, he is utterly divine in all his movements, significant as well as insignificant. No action for him is but a natural and spontaneous flow of divine energy acting through him. As God's supreme will determines, this energy works through equally to create, to preserve, and to destroy. Since this illumined personality intuitively bases his action on the vision of this universal reality and performs them in a state entirely bereft of the individual sense, they do not affect him for good and evil. So long as the soul misses this acme of attainment, he flounders in the morass of conflicting dualities. The divine Shakti works in the universe both for constructive and destructive purpose. Only when the supreme power acts in man through his lower nature, it is vitiated with greed, lust, and selfishness. In this state, in whatever manner he acts, his works are tainted. For personal aggrandizement such as for wealth, power, and glory, he would launch into any kind of action, irrespective of the nature of ahimsa or himsa, whereas the same Shakti, when she acts in a man, freed entirely from egoistic impulse or ambition, does so for the uplift and protection of the oppressed and innocent humanity. In 2-3 areas, the Lord says about Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. Everything what we, thoughts, words, and deeds which come out of us, it should be beneficial for the rest of the creation. It should not be detrimental. Yeah. So when we think about it, why is it so? I am enjoying all the creature comforts, the author of which I don't know.
Giver is somebody. Yeah.
The specs I wear, the shirt I wear, the chair on which I sit, the building in which, the electricity, the light. I am enjoying everything,
But you don't recognize it.
The eatables today we had in our lunch, none of it has been authored by us, produced by us for the first time. But I am enjoying it. So is it not necessary that all my thoughts and words and deeds should also become useful to people who don't know me? Not only to the people, they will acknowledge, they will say thanks, wonderful, all those things. No. Gita says, Sarva Bhuta Hiterata means, it is for, because nothing is owned by you.
Swamiji, Gita can be understood only if it is practiced.
Practice.
By reading
No,
that.
no, no.
Exactly.
No, no. And finally, Papa gives a beautiful stamping. What is Gita? Spontaneity of life born of an egoless purity and
Wonderful.
innocence. Spontaneity of life born of an egoless purity and innocence, a consciousness of immortal freedom, and a condition of perfect divine ecstasy and peace is the one supreme note and refrain of the voice that rings through Gita. Spontaneity of life born of egoless purity and innocence. So this is the guiding principle for us. No? When Papa talks about Bhagavad Gita, and when he has interpreted it, it has got to do everything with your day-to-day life. At the family level, professional level, social level, individual level. So the 202 stanzas now we have picked up. Did not do any planning. We don't know how to do it. But he guided from day to day, and then we found later on that it touches the family life, professional life, social life, individual life. Everywhere it is there. One more, okay. On a journey to Veravel by Prachi, Papas. Beloved Papa Swami Ramdas reluctantly agreed to travel by bullock cart with some companions, despite his preference for walking. He was pressed.
That was in Gujarat, Swami.
Gujarat. He was also pressed to accept 2 rupees for the travel expense. One for fro, to and fro.
He beats the man who was.
Correct. Barely half a mile into the journey, Papa saw the car driver mercilessly beating the bullocks with a heavy stick.
Exactly.
Deeply pained, he said, "Brother, don't strike them. Their suffering is mine." The driver retorted, "They won't move without a beating." Papa immediately alighted from the cart, paid the fare of 1 rupee, and continued the rest of the journey on foot.
He returns 1 more rupee to the owner.
Despite needing it, he did not use the remaining rupee. Upon returning to Veravel, he returned it to the one who had given it, untainted by compromise. Papa's compassion for the voiceless, his integrity with the money, and his refusal to justify wrong in the name of convenience make this episode a shining example of love in practice and devotion in principle.
Gita lived.
This act of non-violence and purity of conduct reflects Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 12, sloga number 13. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evaja nirmamo nirahankar samadukka sugakshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dridhanishchaya mayarpida manobuddhihi yomad bhakta samepriya. He who hates none, who is friendly and compassionate to all, free from mindness and ego, balanced in joy and sorrow, forgiving, content, self-controlled, firm in resolve, and whose mind and intellect are fixed on me, such a devotee is dear to me. One life, one incident in one's life, one incident. It speaks of volumes, Because 12th chapter is a beautiful chapter. As we said earlier, Gandhiji started his commentary on Bhagavad Gita from 12th chapter. And he named Bhagavad Gita as Anasakti Yoga. Why, here there is a clear-cut definition of who is my real Bhakta. Not the appearance, outward appearance. Not the disciplines. But pure values. It starts with that. Adveshta sarvabhutanam, malice towards none, maitra, friendly, karuna, compassionate, nirmamo, me and mine is not there, nirahankar is not there, samadukka sugakshami, sama in dukkha and sugha, kshami, enduring, santushta, always contented, satatam yogi, yathat satatam, always. Yathatma Dridanishchaya, firm. Mayarpida Manobuddhihi, everything is offered to me. Such a bhakta is dear to me. So here Papa's, that particular one, Prachi, he went and paid back the 1 rupee back. Because it was meant for cart hire, no?
Yeah.
He did not use the cart hire technically. I think one more we can have, okay. In a small town, there lived an elderly woman named Meera, who was known for her deep devotion to God. For years, she performed all the traditional rituals, studying scriptures, fasting, giving charity, participating in every temple ceremony. Yet, despite her sincere efforts, she often felt that something was missing in her spiritual journey. She longed for a deeper connection with the divine, a vision or sign that her devotion was being acknowledged. I need some chapa, One evening, after a particularly long day of rituals and prayers, Meera sat quietly in her little prayer room, feeling exhausted and somewhat disheartened. As she gazed at the simple lamp flickering before her altar, she let go of all expectations, rituals, even her longing for a vision. In that moment of surrender, her heart filled with pure love and humility. She simply sat in silence, thinking only of God with childlike faith. Suddenly she felt an overwhelming sense of peace and joy. As if the divine presence filled the room. Though she did not see any grand vision, her heart was flooded with a bliss she had never known. In the stillness, she realized that the divine is not attained by external rituals or knowledge or austerities alone, but by sincere love and surrender. Later, when others asked her about her spiritual experience, Meera would say, I spent years doing everything I was told would bring me closer to God. But it was only when I let go of all methods and simply loved that I truly felt His presence. This incident reflects the message of Shloka number 53 in 11, chapter number 1, 11. God cannot be realized by ritual, study, charity, or penance alone. They are needed, not alone. The deepest experience of the divine comes as a gift of grace. Often, when we surrender all efforts and approach with pure devotion and humility. Naham vedirna tapasa, na danena, na chejya, shakya evam vido drashtum, drishtavanasi mam yatha. This form of mind that you are seeing is exceedingly difficult to behold. Even the celestial gods are eager to see it, neither by the studies of Vedas, nor by penance, nor by charity, nor by fire sacrifices can I be seen as you have seen me. When we read this, we remember one of the inspiring words of Papa. Very difficult, but still we will keep on going through it. Nirvana Shadakam Manobuddhi Hankar also says, when the false conventions and ostentatious observances are broken through, the soul is liberated. For realizing the truth, no external paraphernalia is necessary. No garb, no sign, no cult, no creed can help you. The day will come when you have to leave all these behind. Go to meet the eternal. Next word is very touching. In the perfect nakedness of your spirit. Shedding all make believe forms, customs, and traditions. Simplicity, spontaneity, humility become the guiding principles of your life. You move freely with all, you love all, you break all boundaries set by the calculating and selfish human mind. You soar like a free bird in the infinite expanse of the spiritual firmament. You look upon all beings and creatures as the embodiment of the one divine, all pervading spirit. Next is another bombshell. Temples, ashrams, mosques, churches, synagogues, viharas cannot imprison your soul. You find your soul's delight and joy at all places, in the best as well as the worst. When the false conventions and ostentatious observances are broken through, the soul is liberated. So when once, first when we read, too heavy for us, then calmly, quiet, you ask. Acha, he is there in the form of life force, consciousness, and intelligence,
Yeah.
So right from the day, he is our bijam, the eternal seed. And he is there in the form of Mother Nature. He is there in the form of creation.
He's active
And
everywhere.
everywhere he is there. And he has been with me. He is with me, he has been with me. Whether I know him or not, whether I acknowledge him or not, whether I deny him or not, whether I insult him or not, whether I worship him or not. Oh, suddenly you remember. That is why he said he doesn't require any of these things. All that, in one of the slokas it comes, Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishtam. I am there in everybody, in their heart. Sarvasya. So that means he is there, he has been with me. Even when I was not knowing, when I was not doing puja, when I was leading another life or anybody's life. So he doesn't have any protocol, any condition. That is what Papa here says. When the false notions and ostentatious observances are broken through, the soul is liberated. For realizing the truth, no external paraphernalia is necessary. No garb, no sign, no cult, no creed can help you. The day will come when you have to leave all these behind and go to meet the eternal in the perfect nakedness of your spirit. We have put all these, appendages. We have to remove. Shedding all make-believe forms, customs, traditions. Simplicity, spontaneity, humility become the guiding principles of your life. You move freely with all. You love all alike. You break all boundaries set by the calculating and selfish human mind. You soar like a free bird. In the infinite expanse of the spiritual firmament, you look upon all beings and creatures as the embodiments of the one divine, all-pervading spirit. Temples, ashrams, mosques, churches, synagogues, viharas cannot imprison your soul. You find your soul's delight and joy at all places, in the best as well as the worst. Shankaracharya, after writing so many commentaries,
Yeah.
Upanishads, Prakarana Granthas, Atmabodh, Tattvabodh, Vivek Chudamani, Bhajagovindam, and so many stotras, he also wrote this Nirvana Shakam. Manobuddhi ahankara chittani na aham. Na cha shrotra jihve, na cha grana netre, na cha vyoma bhumi, na tejo, na vayu, chitananda rupam shivoham shivoham. Na punyam, na papam, na saukyam, na dukkam, na mantram, na tirtam, na vedam, na yajnam.
Swamiji, how was he able to write in a very small span of life? Hardly he lived 30 years or something. He lived for a very short period.
God's grace.
That's what I'm telling you.
32 years.
32 years.
न मे द्वेषरागौ न मे लोभमोहो मदोनैव मेनैव मात्सर्यभावं न धर्मं न च अर्थं न कामं न मोक्षं चिदानन्दरूपं शिवोऽहं शिव न मे मृत्युशङ्का न मे जातिभेद पिता नैव मेनैव माता न जन्म न बन्धु न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्य चिदानन्दरूपं शिवो. So we do all these things, not that we should not do, but we should know it is beyond that, beyond that.
Yes.
So these are all what Gita touches, kindles in us. So let us try to eke out maximum benefit out of this study. So we were talking about that Meera, no? One evening, after a particular long day of rituals and prayers, Meera sat quietly in her little prayer room, feeling exhausted and somewhat disheartened. As she gazed at the simple lamp flickering before her altar, she let go of all expectations, rituals, even her longing for a vision. That means, longing for a vision. The chanter and the chanting become one. The initiation time we were sharing, Papa will say, when you drink the nectar of Ramnam, you drink and drink and drink until the drinker and the drink become one. So that is exactly brought out here. Even the vision, I must reach, I must realize, that is also not there. In that moment of surrender, her heart filled with pure love and humility, she simply sat in silence, thinking only of God, with childlike faith, spontaneity, and simplicity. Suddenly she felt an overwhelming sense of peace and joy, as if the divine presence filled the room. Though she did not see any grand vision, her heart was flooded with a bliss she had never known before. In that stillness, she realized that the divine is not attained by external rituals, knowledge, or austerities alone, but by sincere love and surrender. Later, when others asked her about her spiritual experience, she would say, I spent years doing everything I was told would bring me closer to God, but it was only when I let go of all methods and simply loved that I truly felt His love. On a lighter vein, Malayalam, those who know, they will be able to enjoy.
You can translate some.
Somebody went to a Vedic scholar to learn Vedanta, and he spent some years, came back. So his father, who was an evolved soul, he asked him, "Ko മനസ്സിലായോ?" "ഓ, എന്ത് മനസ്സിലായി? ഒന്നും മനസ്സിലായിട്ടില്ല എന്ന് മനസ്സിലായി." Whatever I have understood is not the thing that is understood. That is an eye-opener, really. So that is for the instant. So more of it tomorrow. Hari Om, Hari Om. So every day now you see how Gita is entering into us. When Papa said utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts.
Swamiji, yesterday's that polio vaccine shloka I couldn't write down, please. Can you help me?
Polio vaccine. Which
Polio vaccine. Okay. I was thinking of something else.
Swamiji, when will we get this book?
When
will we get this book published?
It is in the anvil. Chapter 5, Sloka number 25. 11th day Brahmanirvanam. For the sake of people who have not heard. In 1955, Dr. Jonas Salk made history by announcing the success of the world's first effective polio vaccine. This breakthrough would go on to save millions of lives and end the terror of disease that had paralyzed and killed countless children worldwide. When asked in a television interview why he did not patent the vaccine, Salk famously replied, "Can you patent the sun?" S-U-N. For him, the vaccine was not a commodity to be owned or profited from, but a gift to humanity, something as essential and as universal as sunlight, meant to be shared by all. Saar's decision was not just symbolic, it was transformative. By refusing to patent the vaccine, he ensured it could be distributed widely, affordably, removing barriers and delays. He worked with pharmaceutical companies to maximize its reach, never seeking personal gain or recognition. His selfless approach reflected a profound sense of duty, compassion, detachment from the fruits of his labor. So here, chapter number 5, slogan number 25. ലഭന്തേ ബ്രഹ്മനിർവാണം ഋഷയ ക്ഷീണകൽമഷാः ഛിന്നദ്വൈതാ യഥാത്മാന സർവഭൂതഹിതേരത. You see, those holy persons whose sins have been purged, whose doubts are annihilated, whose minds are disciplined, who are devoted to the welfare of all beings, attain God and are liberated from material existence. Suppose we simply chant and explain the meaning and then go. It will not go in.
Yeah.
But now she remembers this star. Dr. Saar's
49
legacy.
49 caption என்ன சுவாமிஜி? 49
What 49 uncle?
49 ல caption என்னன்னு?
Caption.
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 ஆமா.
இது யூனிவர்சல் அவுட்லுக்.
49
49 இல்லை, இது 46.
49 எனக்கு வேணும்.
நான் தரோம், இது பேசிட்டு இருக்கோம் இல்லையா? The highest ideal of selfless action is to work for the welfare of all, unattached to personal reward. As the Bhagavad Gita teaches, such individuals are liberated and leave a legacy that illuminates the world, much like the sun itself. Dr. Saar's gift to humanity reminds us that true greatness lies in compassion, humility, and the unwavering commitment to serve others. Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. Now, 49, student's patient journey to master. We are changing all the, we are shortening it. So many, that's why we are not releasing it. It is again going through, chiseling is going on. But there is a thrill in it. That's why we are reading and sharing with everybody.
Swamiji, this book, the ultimate gift.
Ultimate gift.
Ultimate gift.
This book is ultimate gift.
Ultimate gift, yes. We are now praying to Papa, who has been guiding us, to make it more and more effective. So that any time when I go out of the room, when I see an object, when I meet a person, when I go through a situation, you must make me to connect with you. This prayer should be there. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant. When we give the flower, petal goes outside. Immediately somebody picks it up, Nothing is irrelevant. It has been prepared with devotion to be offered at the holy steps of our Master. At the time of preparing, somehow by its nature, one petal or one leaf might fall. To us, it has been designed to be offered to him. So it is not a leaf or a petal for us. You are reminded, you get connected to the ideal. So this way it should percolate, We remember many incidents when Puja Mataji used to tell that, Tomorrow we will read that particular portion of Mataji. How she was feeling that creator in the creation. Not only in human beings, but anything and everything. And in Puja Swamiji's life, we have observed that even when he tries to get up to switch off, to take the umbrella, to keep his chapel, everywhere we will see a gentle touch. Later on, in his last memoir, he has written, when I drink, I feel I am drinking God. When I wash, I feel I am washing God. Like that, every moment he was trying to practice it. So these are all not.
Swamiji, since you have started with the incidences, the Bhagavad Gita has become more appealing. And I'm in eternal gratitude to you, Swamiji.
It is because, it is connected to our daily life and not to a particular life.
I can't express more than this.
So now all of you should try to bring as many examples as possible. It may be difficult for you to connect it with a particular sloga, but you can give us the examples, That will help us. Because all these things have been woven from day-to-day examples we come across.
We see Lord Krishna in Muktanandaji.
Eh?
He sees Lord Krishna,
Lord Krishna in Muktanandaji.
Oh.
Modern Krishna.
Kindly let us not get halted anywhere, Let us have the. Eh?
We are all Arjuns.
Oh. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Anyway, let us try to pool as many as possible, okay? That is the greatest service we are doing to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna will not be happy if we bring a person there. He will be happy when we start identifying anything and everything with him. Samam sarveshu bhudeshu tishtantam parameshwaram. Like that, yapashyati sapashyati, yomam pashyati sarvatra. All these things, he keeps on telling. Are we doing it? That is important.
Sarvadharman parijyajya ananya chintayanto maam evaluvarke.
Ella nalla irukku, kekkuradhukku nalla irukku, solradhukku nalla irukku. But we are back to square one now. Nothing happens to us. Individually, nothing happens to us.
When Sri Aurobindo meditated for 3-4 days, he in Alipur jail. He was put into Alipur jail. He enters the room. He sees the whole room filled with Lord Krishna, including chair Krishna, cart Krishna, book Krishna, pen, everything was Krishna. He records that.
Yeah, correct. Hari Om. So, tomorrow let us see. By that time, at least you give something, Don't get halted anywhere.
Sure, Swami.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Krishna needs better.
Namaskaram, Swami.
Hari Om. Pranam, 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 pranam. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shari. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om.
Namaskaram, Swami.
Namaskar.